Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is the 1932 Cleveland Indians AL MLB baseball season. Again, the tribe was playing in the American League, and they split time between two facilities. They played 44 games at League Park and the first part of the season, and 32 games at Cleveland Municipal Stadium, the second part of the season. The tribe had an outstanding year in 1932. They finished in fourth place with a record of 87-65, 22 games over 500. Very good. Winning percentage of .572. Very good. 19 games out of first. The first place team was the New York Yankees, who were 107-47, winning percentage of .695. Tremendous. Second place, the Philadelphia Athletics were 94-60. Third place, the Washington Senators, 93-61. Fourth place, the Cleveland Indians, 87-65. Fifth place, the Detroit Tigers, 76-75. Sixth place, the St. Louis Browns, 63-91. Seventh place, the Chicago White Sox, 49-102. And eighth and last place, the Boston Red Sox, 43-111, winning percentage of .279. Tough year for the Red Sox, 64 games out of first. The tribe played their first game at Cleveland Municipal Stadium on July 31st, 1932 against the Philadelphia Athletics. Attendance was 80,184, an MLB record at the time. The tribe lost that game 1-0. Mel Harder started for Cleveland against Lefty Grove for Philadelphia. The Cleveland Plain Dealer called Cleveland Municipal Stadium, quote, the ultimate athletic facility in the country. And as I said, the tribe played their last 32 games of the season at the stadium. The cost was $2.64 million. There were no inner fences that were added later to reduce the playing surface. It was the distances were 320 feet to left field and right field, and 470 feet to dead center. Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis was at that first game at the stadium, and WHK radio station broadcast was the broadcast tribe games. Ellis Vanderpyle started the season as the broadcaster, but was replaced by Jack Graney, the former Cleveland Nap. Graney played for the Cleveland Naps and Cleveland Indians in 1908, and then from 1910 to 1922. And was the tribe broadcaster until 1953. At that first game at the Cleveland Municipal Stadium, some old-time Cleveland baseball players came, including Cy Young, Tris Speaker, Bill Bradley, Lee Fole, Elmer Flick, Elmer Smith, Bill Wamsgans, Chief Zimmer, and Napoleon Lajoie all came. On July 10th at League Park, in a game against the Philadelphia Athletics, the game went 18 innings, and the tribe lost that game 18-17. On July 30th, the game at League Park, it was believed to be that it was the last game played at League Park. However, that's not true. That turned out not to be true because they continued playing at League Park until 1946. The Weideman Grocery Company sponsored the tribe radio broadcasts. They had a prize for the most bottle caps for soda pops, ginger ale, club soda, lime Ricky, or root beer to be sent in by the fans, and the grand prize was a trip to the 1932 World Series, round-trip rail fare, meals, and hotel. Al Schacht, the Clown Prince of Baseball, also performed at the first game at the stadium. He was this funny man who would perform antics on the field, and he'd been a ball player himself. Now, for the year, the total attendance for the tribe at home was 468,953, down 15,000. It was believed that the stadium attendance would go up dramatically with all those seats, but it actually went down. So an average for the season of 6,130 fans per game. In the middle of the season, the National League teams added numbers to the backs of their uniforms. So that meant by the end of the year, everyone in MLB had All the players had numbers on their backs of their uniforms. MLB attendance was down because of the Depression. St. Louis Browns only drew 82,000 fans for the entire year. Now, the tribe manager in 1932 was Roger Peckinpah. He did not. And Peckinpah played for the Cleveland Naps in 1910, and then from 1912 to 1913. I was tribe manager from 1928 to 1933 and in 1941. He was the American League MVP in 1925, a star player with the New York Yankees and Washington Senators, Roger Peckinpah. The coaching staff included Howie Shanks, who was a tribe coach between 1928 and 1932. Howie Shanks. Earl Wolgamott was another coach. There were two coaches in 1932, and he was a tribe coach between 1931 and 1933. Earl Wolgamott. Now, the starting lineup, Luke Sewell was the catcher, brother of Joe Sewell, a former longtime star shortstop, Joe Sewell. Luke Sewell batted .253 in 1932 with 76 hits. He had 20 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 52 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, 38 walks in 87 games, and Sewell was with Cleveland from 1921 to 1932 and in 1939. Luke Sewell. Ed Morgan was at first base. Morgan batted .293 with 156 hits, 32 doubles, 7 triples, 4 home runs, 68 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, 94 walks in 144 games, and Morgan was with Cleveland from 1928 to 1933. Ed Morgan. Bill Sissel was the second baseman. Sissel batted .320, very good. 173 hits, 35 doubles, 6 triples, 6 home runs, 93 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, 28 walks in 131 games. Sissel was born in 1904 in Perryville, Missouri, and died in 1949 in Chicago, Illinois at age 45. For his career, he batted .267 with 29 home runs and 423 RBIs. Sissel played for the Chicago White Sox, Cleveland Indians, Boston Red Sox, Philadelphia Athletics, and New York Giants between 1928 and 1938. In 1928, he was 15th in the American League for MVP voting, and in 1932, 11th for MVP voting in the American League. For his career, he had 990 hits, 173 doubles, 43 triples, 423 RBIs, 113 stolen bases, 212 walks. Sissel in the minor leagues was he was a player manager for the Portland Beavers. Bill Sissel. Johnny Burnett was as its shortstop. Burnett batted .297 with 152 hits, 23 doubles, 5 triples, 4 home runs, 53 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 46 walks in 129 games. And Burnett was with Cleveland from 1927 to 1934. He set an MLB record on July 10th with 9 hits, 7 singles and 2 doubles in an 11 at-bat 18-inning game against Philadelphia. Wow, Johnny Burnett. Willie Cam was at third base. Cam batted .286 with 150 hits, 34 doubles, 9 triples, 3 home runs, 83 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, 75 walks in 148 games. And Cam was with Cleveland from 1931 to 1935. Willie Cam. Joe Vosmick was in left field, Cleveland's own. Vosmick batted .312, 194 hits. Wow. 39 doubles, 12 triples, 10 home runs, 97 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 58 walks in 153 games. An outstanding year for Joe Vosmick, who played for Cleveland from 1930 to 1936. And was a local guy. Joe Vosmick. Earl Averill was in center field. Averill batted .314 with 198 hits. Wow, 37 doubles, 14 triples, 32 home runs. Holy cow, 124 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 75 walks in 153 games. Averill was with Cleveland from 1929 to 1939. He's in the Tribe Baseball Hall of Fame, and his number 3 was retired by the Tribe. I read a fine book called Our Tribe by Terry PLUTO, 1999, and Hal Lebovitz is quoted as saying, quote, "I was about 16 years old, and I saw Earl Averill coming out of a jewelry store one day. He was one of my favorite players. I was so nervous I had to force myself to talk to him. Now, Terry PLUTO continues, quote, "The next thing he knew, Leibovitz was riding to the park with the Tribe's star outfielder." Leibovitz explained, quote, "It wasn't a big deal, at least not to Averill. I never forgot it. Earl Averill, my father's favorite player. Dick Porter was in right field. Twitchy Dick Porter, who batted .308, 191 hits, 42 doubles, 8 triples, 4 home runs, 60 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, and 64 walks in 146 games. Porter was with Cleveland from 1929 to 1934. Twitchy Dick Porter." Now, the bench players included Glenn Myatt, who batted .246 with 62 hits, 12 doubles, a triple, 8 home runs, 46 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 27 walks in 82 games. And Myatt was with Cleveland from 1923 to 1935. Glenn Myatt. Ed Montague played some shortstop. Montague batted .245 with 47 hits, 5 doubles, a triple, 24 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 21 walks in 66 games. Montague was with Cleveland in 1928 and from 1930 to 1932, and this was the end of his MLB career. Later, he became a scout and signed Willie Mays for the New York Giants. Wow, Ed Montague. Bruce Knatzer was at first base. Knatzer batted .233 with 14 hits and 60 at-bats. He scored 8 runs, had 3 doubles, a triple, 4 RBIs, a stolen base, 4 walks in 23 games, and Knatzer was with Cleveland from 1931 to 1932, and this was the end of his MLB career. Bruce Knatzer. Frankie Pytlak was a spare catcher. Pytlak batted .241 with 7 hits and 29 at-bats. He scored 5 runs, had a double, a triple, 4 RBIs, 3 walks in 12 games. Pytlak was born in 1908 in Buffalo, New York, and died in 1977 in Buffalo at age 68. He played for his career. He hit .282 with 7 home runs and 272 RBIs. Pytlak played for the Cleveland Indians and Boston Red Sox between 1932 and 1946, so he was a rookie in 1932. He was a line drive hitter and an excellent defensive catcher. On August 20th, 1938, in a publicity stunt for the Come to Cleveland committee, Pytlak and Tribe catcher Hank Helf caught baseballs dropped from the top of the terminal tower, a 708-foot drop, and they were dropped by Tribe third baseman Ken Keltner. Pytlak, doing so, broke the record set by the Washington Senators, which was 30 years old, when catcher Gabby Street caught a ball from the top of the Washington Monument, a 555-foot drop. The balls that Pytlak caught traveled at 138 miles an hour when he caught it. On August 2nd, 1938, Pytlak caught Bob Feller's record 18 strikeout game against Detroit. Pytlak had a record 571 consecutive fielding chances without an error in his career. He had 677 hits in his career. He had 303 straight years, from 1936 to 1938. In 1933, he led American League catchers with a caught-stealing percentage of 62.7% of would-be base stealers. After he retired, he was a coach for the Providence Grays in the minors and a high school baseball coach in Buffalo. He worked at a sporting goods store in Buffalo as well. In the minor leagues, he played for the Buffalo Bisons, Hagerstown Hubs, Erie Sailors, and Toledo Mudhens. Frankie Pytlak. Mike Powers played some outfield. Powers batted .182 with 6 hits and 33 at-bats. Scored 4 runs, had 4 doubles, 5 RBIs, 2 walks in 14 games. Powers was born in 1906 in Todds Point, Kentucky, and died in 1983 in Louisville, Kentucky at age 77. For his career, he hit .238 and scored 10 runs. Powers' career was in MLB was with Cleveland from 1932 to 1933. He was a manager in the minor leagues from 1939 to 1942. And in the minor leagues, he played for the Jackson Senators, New Orleans Pelicans, Oakland Oaks, Toledo Mudhens, Louisville Colonels, Shreveport Sports, Knoxville Smokies, Bowling Green Barons, Hot Springs Bathers, and the Hartford Bees. Mike Powers. Charlie Jameson played some outfield. He batted .063, 1 hit, and 16 at-bats. a double, 2 walks in 16 games. Jameson was with Cleveland from 1919 to 1932, and this was the end of his MLB career. He was on the team and he was on with the Tribe in 1920, made a major contribution when they won the World Series that year. He's in the Tribe Hall of Fame and had an outstanding career. Charlie Jameson. Johnny Hodap played some second base. Hodap batted .125 with 2 hits and 16 at-bats. Scored 2 runs, had a double in 7 games. Hodap was with Cleveland from 1925 to 1932. So this was the end of his time in Cleveland. He continued in the major leagues until 1933. Johnny Hodap. Bob Seeds played some outfield. He batted 4 times, did not have a hit in 2 games. Seeds was with Cleveland from 1930 to 1932, so this was the end of his time in Cleveland. He continued in the major leagues until 1940. Bob Seeds. Joe Boley played some shortstop. He had 1 hit and 4 at-bats for an average of .250 in 1 game. Boley was born in 1896 in Mahoney City, Pennsylvania, and died in 1962 in Mahoney City at age 66. For his career, he batted .269 with 7 home runs and 227 RBIs. Boley played for the Philadelphia Athletics and Cleveland Indians between 1927 and 1932. This was the end of his MLB career. His given name at birth was John Peter Bolinski. His parents were Polish immigrants. He started working in the coal mines at age 10. In the minor leagues, he played for the Baltimore Orioles and won 7 International League titles with them between 1919 and 1925. He was inducted into the International League Hall of Fame in 1954. With the Philadelphia Athletics, he won 3 American League titles and 2 World Series titles between 1929 and 1931. In 1932, he saved the lives of 5 people who were in a burning car near Philadelphia. He drove the injured to a hospital. He had been passing by this accident. They called him Silent Joe. He was with the Tribe only briefly between June 10th and June 29th, 1932, and before his release, which ended his career. He was called, quote, the second least talkative player in the big leagues by the Washington Post's Shirley Povich. Joe Boley. Bose Berger played some shortstop. Berger batted once, did not have a hit. He struck out in his 1 at-bat. Berger was born in 1910 in Baltimore, Maryland, and died in 1992 in Bethesda, Maryland at age 82. For his career, he batted .236 with 13 home runs and 97 RBIs. Berger played for the Cleveland Indians, Chicago White Sox, and Boston Red Sox between 1932 and 1939. He was a rookie in 1932. His given name was Lewis William. He got to have the nickname Bose. He was a 2-time All-American forward at the University of Maryland on the Terrapins basketball team. He has also played for the Terrapins baseball and football teams as well between 1929 and 1932. He led the Southern Conference in scoring on the basketball team in 1931 with a points per game of 19.1 and is in the University of Maryland Athletic Hall of Fame. In minor leagues, Berger played for the Kansas City Blues, Montreal Royals, Newark Bears, New Orleans Pelicans, and Toledo Mud Hens. Bose Berger. Now the pitching staff, the ace pitcher was Wes Farrell, who had an outstanding year. Farrell was 23-13. Wow, an ERA of 3.66. 38 games, 34 starts, 26 complete games, 3 shutouts, a save, 287 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 105 strikeouts. Farrell was a pretty good hitter. He hit .242 with 31 hits. He scored 14 runs, had 5 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, walked 6 times, struck out 21 times in 55 games. Farrell was with Cleveland from 1927 to 1933. He had a 1-hitter on August 6th against Boston and won that game 3-0. He set an MLB record in 1932 by winning. He won 20. First for you. He had won 20 games each year for his first 4 years in MLB. So that's really something. Wes Farrell. Clint Brown was second in the rotation. Brown was 15-12 with an ERA of 4.08. 37 games, 32 starts, 21 complete games, a shutout, and a save. 262 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 59 strikeouts. Brown batted .250 with 25 hits. He scored 13 runs, had 4 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, 8 walks in 39 games. Brown was with Cleveland from 1928 to 1935 and from 1941 to 1942 and is buried at Lakewood Cemetery in Rocky River, Ohio. Clint Brown. Mel Harder had a good year. Harder was 15-13 with an ERA of 3.75. 39 games, 32 starts, 17 complete games, a shutout, 254 2/3 innings pitched, and 90 strikeouts. Harder batted .181 with 17 hits. He scored 11 runs, had 7 doubles, a triple, 13 RBIs, 5 walks, and struck out 25 times. Harder was a player for the Tribe between 1928 and 1947 and a coach for Cleveland from 1948 to 1963. What a run for Mel Harder. Willis Hudlin was 12-8 with an ERA of 4.71, 33 games, 21 starts, 12 complete games, 2 saves, 181 2/3 innings pitched, and 65 strikeouts. Hudlin batted .203 with 13 hits. He scored 10 runs, had 2 doubles, 10 RBIs, 6 walks, and struck out 14 times. Hudlin was with Cleveland from 1926 to 1940. Willis Hudlin. Oral Hildebrand was 8-6 with an ERA of 3.69, 27 games, 15 starts, 7 complete games, 129 1/3 innings pitched, and 49 strikeouts. Hildebrand batted .146 with 7 hits. He scored a run, had a double, 3 RBIs, a walk, and struck out 5 times. And Hildebrand was with Cleveland from 1931 to 1936. Oral Hildebrand. Jack Russell was 5-7 with an ERA of 4.70, 18 games, 11 starts, 6 complete games, a save, 113 innings pitched, and 27 strikeouts. Russell batted .300 with 12 hits. He scored 2 runs, had a double, a triple, 5 RBIs, 2 walks, and struck out 11 times. Russell was born in 1905 in Paris, Texas, and died in 1990 in Clearwater, Florida, at age 85. For his career, he was 85 141 with an ERA of 4.46 and 418 strikeouts. Russell pitched for the Boston Red Sox, Cleveland Indians, Washington Senators, Detroit Tigers, Chicago Cubs, and St. Louis Cardinals. Between 1926 and 1940, he was an All-Star in 1934 with Washington. After he retired, he settled in Clearwater, Florida, and was instrumental in raising money to build a baseball stadium there, which was called Jack Russell Memorial Stadium, and was the spring training home for the Philadelphia Phillies between 1955 and 2003. Jack Russell. Excuse me. Sarge Connolly was 8-6 with an ERA of 4.33, 35 games, 7 starts, 4 complete games, a shutout, 3 saves, 112 1/3 innings pitched, and 32 strikeouts. Connolly batted .175 with 7 hits, scored 5 runs, had a double, a triple, a home run, 5 RBIs, a walk, struck out 15 times. And Connolly was with Cleveland from 1931 to 1934. Sarge Connolly. Monty Pearson had no decisions and an ERA of 10.13, 8 games, 8 1/3 innings pitched, and 5 strikeouts. He did not bat. Pearson was born in 1908 in Oakland, California, and died in 1978 in Fresno, California at age 69. For his career, he won 100 games, lost 61 with an ERA of 4.00 and 703 strikeouts. Pearson played for the Cleveland Indians, New York Yankees, and Cincinnati Reds between 1932 and 1941, so he was a rookie in 1932. He was an All-Star in 1936 and 1940 with the Yankees and won 4 World Series with the Yankees between 1936 and 1939. He had a no-hitter in 1938. They called him Hoot. It was the first no-hitter in Old Yankee Stadium. Pearson was a Mormon and one of the first Mormons to find success in MLB. He went to the University of California at Berkeley and played on the Golden Bears baseball team. He also worked as a mechanic. He could sing and play the guitar and had a positive influence in the clubhouse on teams he played with. Pearson went to Fresno State College and got a chemistry degree. He was the chief of the sanitarium of Madera County and is in the Fresno Athletic Hall of Fame. In the minor leagues, Pearson played for the Oakland Oaks, Phoenix Senators, and Toledo Mud Hens. Monty Pearson. Ralph Weingarner was 1-0 with an ERA of 1.04. 5 games, he had a start, a complete game, 17 and a third innings pitched, and 5 strikeouts. Weingartner batted 143 with 1 hit and 7 at-bats. He scored a run, struck out 5 times. Weingartner was with Cleveland in 1930, 1932, and from 1934 to 1936. Ralph Weingartner. Leo Moon had no decisions and an ERA of 11.12. 1 game, 5 2/3 innings pitched, and 1 strikeout. Moon batted .500. He had 1 hit and 2 at-bats, an RBI, and struck out once. Moon was born in 1899 in Belmont, North Carolina, and died in 1970 in New Orleans, Louisiana, at age 71. His career was just with the Cleveland Indians in 1932 in MLB. He had a 17-year career in the minor leagues. He was born with 2 fingers fused together. When he became a pro baseball player, he had surgery to split the fingers in 1927. Minor leagues, he played for the Des Moines Demons, Little Rock Travelers, Toledo Mud Hens, New Orleans Pelicans, Knoxville Smokies, Atlanta Crackers, Fort Worth Cats, and Oklahoma City Indians. Leo Moon. And finally, Pete Appleton had no decisions and an ERA of 16.20. 4 games, 5 innings pitched, and 1 strikeout. Appleton did not bat. He was with Cleveland from 1930 to 1932, so this was the end of his time in Cleveland. However, he continued in the major leagues until 1945. Pete Appleton. After the regular season, the World Series was played. The National League champions Chicago Cubs were swept 4-0 by the New York Yankees, the American League champions. In Game 3, in the 5th inning, Babe Ruth had his called shot when he supposedly pointed at the outfield wall that he was indicating he was going to hit a home run, which he did. And he hit off. The pitcher was Charlie Root. This was Ruth's last World Series for Babe Ruth. The first World Series in which players wore numbers on the backs of their uniforms. Hall of Famers in the World Series included for the Cubs Rogers Hornsby, Kiki Kyler, Billy Herman, Burley Grimes, and Gabby Hartnett. For the Yankees, manager Joe McCarthy, Earl Combs, Bill Dickey, Lou Gehrig, Lefty Gomez, Tony Lazzari, Red Ruffing, Babe Ruth, and Joe Sewell, former Cleveland Indians star. So that's the story of the 1932 Cleveland Indians. They had a strong year. Very good. God bless the fellows who played for the Cleveland Indians in 1932 and everyone else associated with the team, including the fans, especially the Civil War veterans, Spanish-American War veterans, and First World War veterans. Captains of the Cuyahoga, lovers of Lake Erie, Terminal Tower Power, fans of the Free Stamp statue and the Fountain of Eternal Life, Museum of Contemporary Art enthusiasts, Euclid Avenue Electricity, Cleveland Museum of Art enthusiasts, First Energy Stadium Friends, Progressive Field Pals, Quicken Loans Arena enthusiasts, Tribe, Browns, Cavs, Monsters, and Gladiators rule. Cleveland, City of Champions. Cleveland is the best location in the nation on the north coast of America. New York is the Big Apple. Cleveland is a plum. Before you know it, it'll be opening day 2019. Go Tribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.